Good morning and welcome to DMAC's Career Discovery event, a business spotlight with Farm Bureau Financial. My name is Jill Hoyk. I will be your host today, and I'm the Work-Based Learning Navigator here at DMAC. We have a special guest with us. We have Sarah Dyke with us, and she is the Human Resources Programs Coordinator for Farm Bureau Financial. Thank you so much for being here, Sarah. And she is here today to share career opportunities, job outlook, and much, much more. So without further ado, I will hand it on over to Sarah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jill. I'm glad to be here today and I'm very excited to be talking about Farm Bureau Financial Services. So I am going to start with a little bit of a background on our company, give you a little virtual tour here, and then hop on into our positions and some of the things that we'd be looking for as we hire interns and full-time positions. So if you are not familiar with our office, this is a picture of it that you're seeing now. Our home office is in West Des Moines, Iowa. So majority of our employees do work from this location. However, we do have 7 other locations around the United States, mainly in the Midwest, but a few Western states as well. So if you are driving down University Avenue, you will likely see us tucked back there in a very good location. And like I said, just a lot of opportunities because it is the home office. So this is just a picture of our campus right now. A lot of our employees are working from home, no different than a lot of other organizations, but people miss our views. We are very fortunate to have a great campus in West Des Moines and a lot of opportunities to go outside, whether that's eating your lunch or we have a lot of focus on health and wellness. We have a couple of ponds on our campus, so you can easily go outside and walk or run, whatever that may look like over your lunch break. So a lot of green space, a lot of nice area for our employees. As you head inside the building, our first stop here is our atrium. So as you can see, we a lot of the comments we get from employees and even just visitors to our building is it's a lot bigger than people think it is when they first see it from the road. So I think this just shows kind of that big open space that we have. Nice building, like I said, lots of employees work in this location and around the state. The next stop is our office spaces. So what you'll notice, the photo on the left is our old workspace and the photo on the right is our update. So our company is going through a huge renovation, a multi-year renovation process, and getting rid of kind of our outdated look and freshening everything up, which is really exciting for our employees. So we have sit-stand desks now, which everyone really likes, so being able to stand up during the workday. And like I said, just a very modern look. It's a very collaborative type environment with lower walls and pretty open spaces because a lot of our teams, there is just a lot of interaction between teams, between team members. So making this easy to communicate and work together. This area is just showing one of the sort of informal, I'll say, meeting spaces around our building. Again, just those places to have some collaboration. All of that's very important at Farm Bureau. So again, just another opportunity to have some conversation and meet with employees in these various places around the building. Our next stop is our auditorium. So we do have a lot of spaces on site for continued learning, whether that be here in this auditorium space. We also have classroom space, but definitely a focus on continuing education and just continuous learning. So there could be lunch and learns or various activities, presentations, all of those kinds of things that happen in this space. Our next space is our dining area. So the bottom picture just shows, again, some very nice outside space. Inside during COVID, obviously things looked a little different. So not as many people on site, but when things improve, and actually they already have started to open up a little bit, a very nice space to eat breakfast or lunch or just have an informal meeting space. This area is constantly being used by employees who just want to have conversation and continue to be able to collaborate. And then the top photo is just one of our other working spaces that is also used as a private dining room. Again, just that focus on meetings and being together and having those opportunities in those places to have those conversations. The next photo is our multi-purpose room. And this space is used in a lot of ways, as you can see here in these photos. So I'll start with the bottom photo. We do have a health and wellness team on site. So we have two trainers who put together all kinds of in-person programming. Obviously, during COVID, we've had to switch to be a bit more virtual. They've made that adjustment and still offered a ton of opportunities for our employees to focus on diet, nutrition, working out, all of those things, but really taking it beyond. We look at wellness as a wellness wheel approach. So that's financial wellness, that's mental health, that's physical, nutrition, all of those things. So definitely a focus there. And that is our team kind of when we were able to gather, right? So in those times when we can be together and have in-person classes. The photo on the top left is our holiday party. So every year we do have a big gathering for all of our home office employees. So again, in our West Des Moines location, obviously last year had to look a little different, but we look forward to getting back to those times and those occasions when we can be together as a large organization. And then the other picture is one of our town hall meetings. So again, had to go virtual this year, but we do have a lot of opportunities where we can gather and be in front of our management team. They're very open and available and there for questions and just like to get in front of employees. So that is just one example of that. We also have a daycare facility on site. So even if that's something that people kind of early in their careers maybe don't need, it just goes to show the family friendliness of the organization. It's definitely not uncommon to see little kids around the building or playing in that multi-purpose room space. And again, just a nice way to be able to offer a facility very, very close for our working parents. A majority of the children, do have a parent that works at Farm Bureau, but it is open to the public as well. On site, we also have a community giving garden. So in this space, employees can volunteer to help plant or harvest the produce. And then each year we give that to the food bank. So a lot of opportunities to get involved and volunteer without ever having to leave our campus, which is nice. So that concludes our tour. This is just kind of, again, that initial space as you're driving up to the office. So that's a little bit about our layout, but I want to move into our opportunities. So one opportunity we have is internships. And our internship program, we take on what we call the 80-10-10 approach. So the 80-10-10 approach means that 80% of your time as an intern would be spent working on the activities in your department that you were hired for. So the things that you talked to that leader about when you were first hired, that's going to be 80% of your role. 10% of your time is going to be spent on corporate activities. So that's some of what you see actually in these photos. So the photo on the far left, we did some various customer service type training. The photo on the far right, we did some volunteer work and we're able to even do that virtually last year when a majority of our interns were not in the office. So it could also be panel discussions with various departments. So learning about how maybe your job fits into the bigger picture. How does that fit into the overall insurance industry? It could be a presentation skill program, or it could be a networking opportunity, just so that you have an opportunity to meet various leaders throughout our organization. So it takes on a lot of different looks and feel, but the whole goal is really to expose you to the bigger picture of Farm Bureau, as well as the bigger picture of the insurance industry overall. The last 10% of the experience is focused on job shadows, or what I like to call job interviews. So that is finding somebody in the organization, perhaps it's someone on your team, or maybe it's somebody from a different team, but getting together and just talking about what their job does. So one of the things we want you to learn during an internship, yes, we want you to know, is the job you were hired into something you want to do long-term, but maybe you decide that's not what you want to do long-term. The job shadows or job interviews give you an opportunity to see other positions in the organization that maybe would be a better fit. So sometimes in internship, it's just as important to learn what you do want to do, what you don't want to do, as it is important to learn what you do want to do. And these job shadows really provide that opportunity for you to learn more and see kind of the other areas of the business. So in terms of our internship opportunities, we do have a lot of different positions available. So some of the areas that hire pretty regularly are going to be HR, IT, accounting, finance, underwriting, claims, audit services is another one, wealth management. So customer service, we just have a whole bunch of opportunities, and really no matter what your major is or what your interest is, there's likely going to be something that is a good fit. So each summer we hire between 30 and 50 interns and then keep about, 10 to 12 of those throughout the school year. So opportunities to stay on board just for the summer or for the whole year, depending on the position. So
And
after
Sarah,
graduation,
I just have a question. Are those paid internships?
Yeah, great question, Jill. So all of our internships are paid. The pay will vary a little bit just depending on what the position is. But yes, all of the positions are paid. Good question. After graduation, so we have a lot of positions, whether they be full-time, part-time, temporary, and again, in a variety of our locations. So majority of them are going to be in the home office in West Des Moines. And depending on what the position is, it could vary the level of education and or experience that you need. We do have people in our organization with all kinds of different educational backgrounds. So business degrees are going to be something that we look at: communication, psychology, English, marketing, PR, IT, MIS, you name it, accounting. All of these things are going to fit very well into our organization. So again, it doesn't really matter what your background is in college, there's going to be a position that fits that skill set that you're learning about. Some of our positions don't require college education, and some employees will maybe get high school or maybe a 2-year degree, then come work for us and then use our tuition reimbursement program to get that 4-year degree. So again, just a lot of ways that you can grow your career. You can start in one department. We take internal mobility very seriously. So even if you start in one department, there's going to be ways that you can progress, whether that's through your education or designations, and move into other roles. No matter what that background is that you're coming from, there are some skills that we're going to look for no matter what position. And those are the things that you're going to see on the screen here. So communication, initiative, problem solving, really being customer focused. Even if your job isn't interacting with our client members, just having that customer service mentality is going to take you a long way within our company. Teamwork, collaboration, being a continuous learner, just always being willing to get that next designation or learn more or go to a conference, whatever that looks like, that's going to be extremely important to your career at Farm Bureau. We can teach you insurance, we can teach you ag, but if you have some of these skills coming in, that is going to be key in kind of getting your foot in the door. So is Farm Bureau Financial Services right for you? Well, a great way to tell is to look at the culture. So some of the pictures here definitely speak to our culture. So the first picture is the corporate games. That's just one of the health and wellness initiatives that we participate in each year. So you can get involved, meet other employees, maybe that you don't have a chance to work with regularly, by being on a team with them. And again, just that health and wellness spirit. So the fact that we have staff on board dedicated to health and wellness, we have a mental health task group. So again, that's something that we take very seriously. There's just all kinds of ways to get involved from a health and wellness standpoint. Giving back to the communities we serve is also very important. So whether that's Habitat for Humanity, like you see in this photo here, or working in our giving garden, all employees get volunteer time off each year. They get 7.75 hours, which is equivalent to our day, to really volunteer at whatever organization they want. So whether that's, being involved with your children's activities or volunteering for a place like Habitat, you get to decide, and you get to use that time any way you want, and that's a paid day. Beyond that VTO, we also offer a lot of corporate volunteer activities, and for those, you don't need to use that day. It's still a paid opportunity, but it's just supporting the different organizations that the company has aligned with. And Habitat is one of those, Variety is one of those, American Heart, and the list goes on and on. United Way, obviously very big with United Way as well. So just a lot of ways to get involved from a volunteer standpoint. Employee recognition, huge deal. So the picture of the virtual fair, last year we had to go virtual, but normally we have an employee appreciation day at the Iowa State Fair every year, and we give employees tickets to attend that event. And it's just a great way to spend time with your coworkers, perhaps bring your family, whatever that looks like for you, but just a way for the company to show some appreciation for all that you do every day. In the more day-to-day, we have an employee recognition system where we can just give kudos and props to our fellow colleagues for a job well done, and then they get to redeem points and get prizes and things like that that are meaningful to them. So recognition is something that we look at, whether it be supervisor to team member or peer-to-peer, whatever that may look like. It's just something that you're going to see throughout our organization. The last picture on that top row, the virtual reality, that is just showing you our focus on innovation. So we have a team dedicated to innovation and looking for ways to improve our processes and just really continue to be relevant and current in our field. And one of the ways that we've done this recently is through drones. A lot of our claims adjusters will have to climb on roofs, go out to farms and look at different buildings to be able to insure those. So some of our team has been certified and now use drones for some of their job duties. So one example, but there are tons of ways that we're looking at innovation and bringing that into different parts of the company. There are a lot of ways to get involved. So we have a group that their passion is quilting, and they come together every year and we make quilts that we give to some of our employees who are veterans. So Veterans Day is definitely a focus for us as well, and have been giving away a lot of quilts over the last 4 or 5 years. So that's been a passion project from one of our employees. And again, just the other ones showing that spirit of collaboration that I've talked about a little bit already. So our teams are not just you're focused on your one job. There's a lot of opportunities to provide input, offer ideas or suggestions on ways to do things differently, and have some autonomy within whatever your specific role is. So that's also very important to us. If that sounds like you, there are definitely ways to stay connected with us. The first one would be apply for an open position. So you can do that through our career website, which is fbfscareers.com. If there would not be a position available now that you're interested in, or maybe the timing's just not right to look for that next position as you finish school, you can join our talent network. And to do that, you do that through our website, so FBFS Careers. But then you're going to fill out this form that tells us your email address and kind of the area of interest that you have. And then what's going to happen is you're going to receive an automated email anytime a position matching that criteria would come up. So for example, if you're looking for an internship, maybe you just type in area of interest is internship. And then anytime an internship is posted, no matter what area it is, you would receive that notification. So it's just an extra layer in your career search. I'd certainly still encourage you to watch our website, but joining that talent network definitely has benefits that you'll be notified instead of you always having to go to the website. You can also connect with us on our social media sites. So our Instagram at FBFS Careers is really going to highlight our culture. So some of those things that I was talking about, what are our employees doing? What's important to them? What does a day in the life of a Farm Bureau employee look like? That is going to be the best place to see that, and would certainly encourage you to follow along. The other LinkedIn social media source that I would encourage you to follow is just our company, Farm Bureau Financial Services. That's going to help you learn more, not so much the culture, but I would say more about the industry. So again, just what do we do? How do we make a difference, and why is it important? So both of those are very good sources to follow along with and just kind of help continue to see if Farm Bureau could be a good fit for you. And obviously, if there are questions about specific positions or the company as a whole, would love to connect with you personally on LinkedIn. So you can just find me out there as well, or happy to share email, whatever is best. So that is the end of my presentation, but would certainly love to answer any questions if there are any.
I have one, Sarah.
Sure.
I know within financial services, there's sometimes different certifications that you can get as far as, moving up to the next level. Does the Farm Bureau provide that? And if so, do they pay for those certifications? I know sometimes they cost a lot. And so I was just wondering if you have those, and then if Farm Bureau helps with the cost of those as well.
Yeah, really great question, Jill. So we do, if that designation would be a requirement of your job, we're going to pay for that and the materials that go with that to study. So that is something employees would not need to pay for on their own. There's a lot of different ones too. So, I mean, even for myself, I have never sold insurance, nor is that necessarily my career plan, but I have both a P&C designation as well as a life designation. So it's just important to understand your industry. So there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of our leaders who are very similar in that approach, and they're going to want you to take those designations, and it would be even part of your development plan to do so. So that is something that you're definitely going to see. I also just recently became an ag advisor, so got an ag certification. Again, I'm not out there dealing with our customers, but it's important that I understand our business and can, communicate that in situations even like this today. And be able to speak to what our industry is. So, yep, it will be encouraged to take those, and we will pay for those. But the bonus is there's a cash award a lot of times in finishing those designations. So a little extra perk for employees who complete those.
Awesome. And how many roughly employees does Farm Bureau have?
Yep, we have about 1,800. Like I said, the majority being in West Des Moines, but the others scattered throughout our other 7 states. A lot of those in the other states also work from home because we have a lot of claims adjusters and ag specialists and things like that that would work remotely. But our biggest office is here in West Des Moines with about well, like I said, a majority of those employees. Our next largest location is in our Kansas office. So definitely a majority of them in the Midwest.
Yeah, and I sometimes see Farm Bureau Financial Services, different like locations throughout different communities. Are those, obviously they're a part of the same company, but do they specialize in something different than the main campus?
Yes, so those are most of those are going to be our agent offices. So they're going to be the ones focused on selling our products, working very closely with the customers and our client members. Occasionally, one of those offices could be a claims office. So some of those appraisers and things like that may work from that location. But a majority of what you see when it's outside of that main office is going to be our agent locations.
Awesome. I could keep asking questions for days, but I open it up to those that are here. Does anybody else have any questions? Feel free to either leave them in the chat or you can unmute yourself. I'm just awed with how much you have as far as like the culture. I know where you guys are located in West Des Moines, and it's just right there, right by the interstate, which is so awesome. But I have learned so much about the culture, and I think that that's important when you think about not only just a career in insurance, but the actual culture too, and being able to have all those things at a fingertips place, like the example of that you have all of those things for mental health and wellness and all right there within your facility, which is amazing. And a lot of companies don't have something like that. So I feel like that's very unique.
Yes, and one thing, that mental health group that I was talking about, that was started through a suggestion of one of our employees. So again, being able to bring your passion project or the things that are important to you to work every day, so important. And even when you're looking for your career opportunities, would encourage that you ask questions about the culture. You spend a lot of time at work, right? We all spend a lot of hours here. So make sure it's a place that um, it's important to you, focuses on the same values that you have, and you can just really fit in with that culture. Because if you don't fit in with that culture, eventually performance will suffer. It won't be the place for you. You'll be unhappy. So that culture is just so important. So when you're looking for an opportunity, whether it's with Farm Bureau or somewhere else, ask those questions. What do people like? What does it really look like from a day-to-day standpoint? Because that's the place you want to end up, right? The place where you can really fit in and contribute.
Are the internships, are those typically students that are still in college, or do you oftentimes see students that have completed their college, or is it just kind of a mixture? Where do you normally see the interns falling, or are they coming right out of high school?
Yep, with our program, it is a requirement that they are still students. So whether that is, between coming from high school, knowing you're going to college, somewhere in your college, or if you're after college and then working on an advanced degree. So that would be the span that we're looking for, but it is important that they still maintain that student status throughout the duration of their internship. With that said, there are some positions where we would hire students and they just wouldn't participate in that 80-10-10 approach that I mentioned before. So instead, we would just classify them as a temporary employee, and they would focus really 100% of their time working on the job that they were hired into. So it is possible that somebody could technically have an internship in terms of getting credit through their college, or maybe they've just graduated, but we're just going to identify them a little bit different in terms of their status.
And are those opportunities, are they posted any time of the year, or they typically start in the summer, or do they just, when one person leaves the internship, then that one opens? Or like I said, sometimes internships are just through the summer, or something like that. So I was just wondering if they open all year round, or if there's a specific time for that.
So it depends a little bit. So a lot of our positions are going to start recruiting anywhere from kind of November till about March, and those would be looking for somebody to work in that summer time frame. A lot of our school year positions are a continuation of a summer internship. Otherwise, we'd kind of be looking, usually try to get our managers to look as far in advance as possible, but really, a month or two in advance is pretty realistic. With the exception of some positions, our actuarial positions and our IT positions, they tend to recruit very early for those. So, for example, normally I know my summer interns they're hiring the year before for that next summer. So depends on the field and how competitive those internships are. But in general, if you're looking a few months before that desired time frame of when you would want an internship, that's going to be our approximate window. Again, we're doing everything we can to kind of push and encourage managers to hire as soon as possible. But there are some that will kind of come right up to that start date.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I will open it up for any last questions. We have hit the 30-minute mark, so I won't try to go over that time. But if there's any last questions, please feel free to say it now or write it in the chat. But Sarah, thank you so much for your time. It was very knowledgeable, and I've learned a lot about Farm Bureau financial services today. So I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. And be on the lookout too on our Career Discovery Network page. We're always adding events too as well. So for those of you who are on the call right now. But if that is all, I will conclude this event. Again, Sarah, thank you so much for your time. And do you have any last minute remarks?
Yeah, no, just thank you, Jill. Appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and I look forward to hearing from some of our students as they look for internships and full-time opportunities. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you.